Are we in trouble yet?
Rely on me.
Never a dull moment.
I will help where I can.
I appreciate privacy.
I'm all ears.
On Adayana. On Adayana. Venimosi travisi. Venimosi travisi.
You can trust me. mossi travissi.
Through the mist, you spot the flickering flames of a campfire. 3 figures wrapped in crusader cloaks are huddled next to it, a stout, smiling dwarf, a brash, dark-haired halfling, and a delicate-looking woman who appears to be very young. The crackling campfire is driving away the bleak fog, and promising warmth and rest for tired legs. Noticing you, the halfling's hand jerks toward his weapon, but then he relaxes. Hey, it's the commander himself. Don't just stand there, have a seat by the fire. It's a bit damp today, you might as well dry off, at least. In an amicable gesture, he passes you a large mug that smells of freshly brewed tea. The location for the camp was chosen wisely, it's safe and quiet here. No tracks in sight, the air is calm, but an odd feeling of wrongness lances through you like a sting from an angry wasp. Something isn't right. It's quiet here, all right, as the grave. I don't know why, but I don't like the feel of this place. It makes my scales stand on end. Frontline scouting party. Our senior sent us ahead to look for ambushes. We've been walking all day, so we're making a bivouac. Go ahead, help yourself to some tea. It's an honor for us to be sharing a campfire with the commander. The dusty boots, the patched cloaks, and the mess kits lying next to the campfire all mark these 3 as seasoned scouts. A broad smile blossoms on Sela's face.
I never thought we'd run into such jovial company out here. I don't suppose you guys have anything stronger than tea in your canteens?
Catching the halfling's conspiratorial look, she smiles even brighter. Smirking brazenly, the halfling licks his lips with a surprisingly long, pustule-covered red tongue. Ha, would you look at that, he didn't buy it. Enough of this masquerade, then, everyone. No more games. The figures by the fire ripple and transform. 3 gray-haired and dark-skinned elves watch you with mocking sneers. Their twisted, grimacing faces look demonic. From the haze, more, previously unseen shadows materialize, they are all just as loathsome and unsettling. The campfire emits a sickly sweet, intoxicating smell, and in the squat kettle, you see some slimy mushrooms swimming in a disgusting, boiling slurry. Lady Anamora desires your head. And will gladly deliver it. The elf, whose voice as Tran was so convincing, lets out a repulsive snicker.
You monsters.
Sela looks at those who appeared to be trusted allies a moment ago with open disgust.
How did I not see you for what you are right from the start?
Dumb paladin. You really think your ability to sense evil can't be fooled? Lady Anamora taught us long ago how to trick the likes of you.
Ways to conceal the evil in one's heart are not a recent invention. Your Anamora deserves no credit for devising them.
The one who was pretending to be the halfling Velham makes a face, mimicking you in an obnoxious voice. Who are you? We are servants of Lord Descari. And you are the pitiful insect that got caught in our web. The elf who was masquerading as the cleric Asti gives you a lecherous smile, enthusiastically dragging her tongue along the blade of her dagger.
Did you like sweet little Asti? Did you want to play with her in your tent?
I love it when prey tries to fight back.
crossed the wrong mongrel. You won't survive me.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
Endure this!
Magritium Turinum.
I don't need anyone's sympathy. but you're not.
A corpse in a tattered scout's cape bearing the emblem of the crusade was leading the undead squad. He battled on until he ran out of bolts, and desperately tried to conceal his crossbow with his own body even when the soldiers were hacking off his limbs.
Move aside. Make way!
It was easy, wasn't it? Simple puzzle, simple solution. But it was just the beginning. Its purpose was to awaken curiosity. A translucent figure appears out of thin air, clad in a loose-fitting robe. Its face is hidden behind a simple, unadorned mask.
Oh, puzzles. I love them.
Mortals are not meant to unveil the secrets of the universe and grasp the meaning of creation, but is this really so?
Of course not.
The secrets of the universe will only be revealed to the most worthy of mortals. Prove yourself, and be the first for whom all the secrets of the world are revealed.
Yes. Yes. What do we need to do?
The heart of mystery is located west of here. Solve the puzzle, and you will comprehend the forbidden knowledge. A map of an area that looks vaguely like the world wound appears in the figure's hands. A single dot shines brightly on the map.
You can count on me, translucent masked figure. I'll solve any puzzles you have, so you better prepare some good ones.
The translucent figure remains silent. Simple puzzle, simple solution. The heart of mystery is located west of here. Comprehend the meaning of creation for the most worthy of mortals. The heart of mystery prove all the secrets of the world.
I think you've broken it.
The translucent figure vanishes into thin air.
How much longer, I wonder? Follow me, or don't. Make way!
Commander. We caught a suspicious lad on the road. He says he's an ally, and he's desperate to talk to you. Who knows who he really is?
The young man before you is trembling from his wounds and exhaustion. His boots are in tatters, and if he had any weapons or armor, he shed them along the way. His clothes are torn, and his hair is wet, like he recently swam across a river. Blood oozes from the wounds on his chest and shoulders, and his skin is cracked and inflamed from the acrid water of the world wound. Commander. The man breathes heavily, and the words emerge as a whisper from his dry throat. My squad, ambushed, beyond the river, help. Barely catching his breath, he begins again. Yaker Ankle, Hell Knight of the Order of the God Claw, under the command of Paralictor Regal Derange. Our squad is under attack by demons far surpassing our number. Without your assistance, we are lost. The Hell Knights are a collection of knightly orders with a unique focus on the promulgation of law. Unlike paladins, they are interested less in social good and charity than in the foundation and stringent maintenance of order at all costs. If people cannot be trusted to obey the law out of their own sense of civility and social righteousness, Hell Knights provide the need to obey out of fear of a master's stern hand. The Order of the God Claw is a Hell Knight order that extols the virtues of 5 deities, distilling select tenets into a dogma far from any one god's faith. Not content with seeking divine approval for their knighthood's righteous path, the Order of the God Claw's members have sculpted their beliefs from the harshest, most exacting philosophies of 5 lawful deities, Abadar, Asmodeus, Iomade, Irari, and Torag. Remade as 5 stern, armored paragons, the deities of this pantheon are known collectively as the God Claw. The Hell Knights follow revised doctrines to stamp out disorder, in particular, its divine embodiments and beings of absolute chaos, with religious zeal. Rather than targeting the faiths of prominent religions, the order sets its eyes on supporting lawful crusades, such as the wars fought by Moldhune and Mendef, and being at the vanguard of battles against the forces of chaos. No land is beyond the law imposed by Hell Knights, a fact the Order of the God Claw endlessly seeks to prove.
Hell Knights. They've supported the Crusaders more than once in our battle against the demons. Despite their
Irabeth cringes.
questionable reputation, we cannot abandon our allies in trouble. If they really are our allies, then of course. It's just.
Anevia looks Yaker over closely from head to toe.
I kinda think this isn't a knight at all. A real Hell Knight would be skinned alive for losing his infamous black armor. What we see here is a stranger without rank or insignia, who wants us to march to God's nowhere. Kinda smells like a trap to me.
Not far from here, beyond the river.
It's not far for a single fighter who abandoned his armor and weapons. But we can't get across the river so easily. We'll have to take a detour. Even if we can save anyone, it will seriously delay our offensive on Drazen, and will give the enemy a chance to prepare.
Large creatures that attack from the sky. Some are fighters, others are, at a guess, clerics with dangerous divine magic. They look like stone come to life. Yaker pauses. Not the way you look, Commander. I am almost certain they are gargoyles. They fell upon us from the sky while we were setting up camp and at our most vulnerable. And they caught our forces at partial strength. The Paralictor had dispatched some of our troops as scouting teams. The flying beasts didn't fight us, they just fell on us from the sky, grabbed our fighters, and either took them somewhere or threw them to their deaths. We were unprepared for that. Your companions look at their guests suspiciously.
Hell Knights. With allies like them, we've no need for enemies. If it suited them, they'd abandon us to the demons without a second thought. But we're not like them, are we? We have to save them.
Looks like a trap to me. But even if he isn't lying, Drazen is our goal. If our offensive is delayed, we won't get another chance to retake the city. The Hell Knights are heartless executioners. Saving people from the claws of demons is a good cause in itself, but these people are doing everything they can to become just like the devils. Shellen, forgive me, but I fear we should leave the Hell Knights to their fate, and continue our offensive on Drazen. Do you recall Prelate Run? Well, picture an entire army of soldiers just like him. Do we need allies like that? If they die, I shan't shed a tear.
We should help them, but only if they join our forces in return. We could use some fresh blood.
Hell Knights. No, not for all the gold in the world. Don't you know what kind of people they are? One minute you're just going about your business, the next you're locked in the stocks and there's a butcher in black armor standing in front of you. What knights are these? I never heard of them. But the name sounds nasty, they must be ghouls or wargs or something like that. I would stay away from them if I were you.
Hey? What?
Ninio blinks a few times, baffled.
This question has no scientific significance. What's interesting is how the water in the river poisoned by the world wound will affect this boy. With your permission, I'd like to examine him, or his corpse, in a few days' time. Yes, Commander. Did you hear that? Take him away. A wounded elf, hey? Well, there were lots of wounded in Canabers. Who wounded him? In what way?
Anevia appears relaxed, even nonchalant, but her eyes gleam attentively, and her hands, as if by coincidence, are resting on her belt next to her weapon.
How should I know? It must have been demons. If the wound was serious, I doubt he has fully recovered from it. Maybe if you could point me toward a healer, I could.
The woman, wrapped in rags all the way up to her eyes, turns around at the sound of your footsteps.
Damn it.
In a lightning-fast motion, Anevia knocks something from the woman's hands, an amulet that seemingly appeared out of nowhere. It falls to the ground and disappears in a flash of magic.
What's the rush, sweetheart? Stay a while. The commander and me, we've got a couple questions for you, too.
You hear a heavy sigh coming from under the shawl.
Fine, you've got me. We'll talk, but not here. Lead me somewhere away from prying eyes. She's all yours, Commander. I caught her, I handed her over, and now, as they say, I wash my hands of this whole affair. What do you want from me, soldier?
In an exasperated gesture, she rips the half-mask off her face, and you see her black skin and crimson eyes. It's Kaelessa, the elf you met in Canabers.
To find someone.
Kaelessa lets out a resigned huff.
His masters want me dead, which means I will die sooner or later.
After a pause, she narrows her eyes and spits out.
But that doesn't mean I'll lie down and accept my fate. I am no lamb to the slaughter, and I won't be waiting for a kindly executioner to come for me, knife in hand. Never again.
She shrugs.
Everyone's a soldier in a war, generals and privates alike. I look at you, and I see someone whose life is war and only war. That makes you a soldier.
Her scarlet eyes flash defiantly, and she mutters through her teeth.
I'm not going to hide it, I have come here to commit a violent and bloody act. But I do not serve the demons and I won't do you or your forces any harm. Why?
Frowning skeptically, she gives you an appraising look.
And what will you do with my story? Take it into account and pass your judgment? Kill me if you deem me a reprobate, help the poor girl if you don't? Well, I haven't asked for help, and your authority to judge me seems rather dubious.
She's clearly lying to you, but it doesn't feel like the guile of someone plotting a crime. There is a slight hounded look to her eyes that makes her seem more like prey than hunter. She shrugs casually as if her fate had not been hanging in the balance just a moment ago.
How nice of you, soldier. My gut tells me it's time I was leaving too. It's dangerous to stay here. Farewell, soldier.
Now what? Never a dull moment. I prefer the company of me, myself, and I. Friendship's overrated anyway. Ugh.
Horgus Worm has been expecting you, thumb stuck in his belt. There you are. I've been waiting. As you see, I too have joined the crusade. I don't know how to swing the sword, but war is costly, and I have money. Besides, my intellect and business sense may prove useful even on the battlefield. Besides, I believe. Horgus shifts awkwardly from foot to foot. I believe I owe you an apology. The way I behaved was rude, ill-mannered. You are an honest and honorable person. You have clawed your way up from the bottom of society to the title of Knight Commander, and you are friends with Queen Gaffrey herself. Such persistence deserves respect. Horgus tilts his head in a brief acknowledgement of your merits. Please allow me to give you this magic amulet from my humble personal treasury, to mark our future cooperation. Didn't I tell you this at the mansion? It's because her mother, Iris, was a lowly half-elf who looked after my garden. I always wanted to join the Gwyrm name with another noble family. The Gwyrm legacy must not be mixed with common blood and vanish into obscurity. Iris didn't mind, and we managed to hide our relationship. When Camellia was born, I did not claim her as my own. To all of Mendef, Camellia is the daughter of a lowly servant who died over a decade ago. And before you start telling me what a terrible father I am, I want to tell you something. My daughter wanted for nothing. All her whims were fulfilled as quickly as they arose. I hired the best teachers and bought her the best books. She always ate well and had warm clothes. Isn't that what a parent does? Horgus pierces you with a long, heavy stare. I'm not going to tell you about that. Some things ought to remain private. He is a brilliant young man with a brilliant pedigree. And that story of his, the nobility, is the glue that keeps our society together. I suppose that is why demons so often choose their estates as primary targets. Who would notice the demons' bloody massacres if they only slaughtered poor country folk? The Arenday family shared the tragic plight of the Gwyrms. Along with many other members of the nobility, they fell victim to a treacherous attack during a major celebration taking place at their family estate. I hadn't received an invitation and was slightly insulted by the snub, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The gods saved me from a terrible fate. All the guests died that day from a magical demonic disease. I sympathize with the Count deeply. He has endured so much, and it's no wonder he keeps himself aloof from me. I think this is due to the fact that Horgus Worm's fate so resembles his own, and we both have to relieve those horrible memories whenever we see each other. When I was a boy, I used to hate Horgus. The condescension most of all. The pity on his face. His smile when he called me to join him in his games. The difference in our birthright wasn't fair. Envy clouded my mind. When the demons killed him and not me, and I thought it was a gift of fate. I seized my good fortune with both hands and never let go. When I told them my name was Horgus Gwyrm, the only heir to the vast fortune of the Gwyrm family, on that day, life was fair. Unfortunately, it took me many years to see the generosity behind the condescension, and feel the compassion behind the pity. I discovered far too late that Horgus was my friend, even when I didn't feel myself his. I never accepted the hand of friendship he offered until it was far too late. But now what can I do? Reveal the truth, reject the name, and allow it to sink into oblivion? Would my friend Horgus want this? Horgus shakes his head, tired. I bear the name of Horgus Gwyrm with the pride and dignity it deserves. As a banner on a battlefield. I will multiply its merits. The Gwyrm family will not be forgotten. I still serve Horgus Gwyrm. Horgus attempts a smile, but the result is pathetic. Woljif gives you a hurt look. As if I could. There are demons and dangers around every corner. The tiefling stops short. Don't you worry, Chief, I'll work off my debt honestly, I won't stab you in the back or go on the run with your money. And if you buy my wares, I won't have to leave at all. A celebration? That is far from ideal. It will be rather inconvenient for me to conduct the investigation with all the guests around. Thank you, nonetheless, Commander. When you decide to go to the estate, I will join you.
How much longer, I wonder?
Iomity be praised, everything's fine. We're well supplied, nobody's going hungry, and the sick, well, you can't run a military campaign without somebody getting sick, but they aren't taking up any more beds than usual. Except. The quartermaster looks at the mound of equipment bearing the signs of recent tinkering. We're having a little problem with the soldiers' gear. The army has a standard that dictates who gets what. Except the standard is only good for fighting around cannibers. Needless to say, the conditions inside the world wound are completely different. The scouts have been complaining. The local vegetation is like razor blades, they say, and it's slashing the soles of their boots to ribbons. Their cloaks might protect them from the cold, but they're useless against acid snow or caustic mist. The scouts are missing plenty of vital gear. A coil of rope is a simple thing, but there's not even enough to go around. Can you imagine? How are they supposed to scale mountains with no rope? So I've been thinking, what if we issue them different equipment? The scouts, at least. That's more like it. I'll make sure the troops have everything they need and then some. An army moves faster if it has fleet-footed scouts. Cheers. Ulbrich takes a drink from the flask he is holding. I don't know what this is, a dream, a phase illusion, or I popped into another world, but you people sure know how to brew good beer. I don't like them. Can't deny that they're useful, but this is the way of things I'm accustomed to. Every power must have a name. The powers that druids and shifters have are fair, gods and spirits grant them to us, and only for good reason. First you have to earn your power, prove you're worthy of it, show you're grateful for it, then you can start using it. But this, who gave it to us? For what purpose? What do we have to give in return? It's one mystery after another. I'll up and tell you what I think. This power feels a lot like ensorcellery. In our lands, people could get sent to threshold for toying with powers like these, for everyone's safety. I'm always up for a chat, especially when there's still beer to be drunk.
Follow me! Or don't. Move aside.
Knight Commander. How can I help? There is much I can do, just ask.
Nero looks at you with eyes filled with enthusiasm. She's holding a notebook and a traveler's inkwell.
Oh my. I could tell you so many amazing things, and you choose the most boring one of all. But alright, about myself then. Istur. A small piece of land that proudly calls itself a country, though it hasn't been independent for a single day in all the centuries it's existed. They have a lot of national pride, but all of it is borrowed. Always looking to the great day when they can at last be free from the rule of Keliox.
Infernal Keliox remains one of the most powerful military nations in the Inner Sea region. Its control of the Arch of Aeroden, the passage between the Inner Sea and the Arcadian Ocean, also gives it a vital role in much of the region's trade. Nevertheless, as important as the nation may be today, it pales in comparison to its former imperial glories. Today, Keliox suffers from extreme diabolism and tyranny, which prevent it from truly achieving its full potential. Internal observers, including the new nobility of Keliox, firmly believe that Asmodeus and Hell serve Keliox and assist in maintaining the power necessary for Keliox to assume its rightful role among the leading nations of the Inner Sea.
The Isturi love talking politics. If two of them start bargaining over beats at the market, you can be sure that they'll end up arguing about whether an independent Istur will be a monarchy or a republic. I've always found it funny to listen to. And a little disgusting. You see, there are a lot of us halflings in the country, but very few are citizens. Most are slaves. I was lucky, I've always been clever, ever since I was little, so they sent me to school instead of making me do the grunt work. They taught me to count and write, and I was sold as a secretary to Lord Axelar Tresbot. He's the one I left Istur with, never to return, I hope. I was a slave of Lord Axelar Tresbot in Istur, my homeland. Oh, what a man he was. He towered over his fellows like a rock over a garbage heap. A true hero. He bought me as a simple secretary, but he made me learn the history of the world wound, all of it, one volume after another. He hired tutors for me, even sent me to meet prominent historians. He didn't want a simple slave, but a slave with an impeccable education. Lord Tresbot was going on a crusade. He firmly believed that the servants of the good gods were weak, and only a follower of Asmodeus could stand against the demon invasion. He took me along as a secretary, a historian, and, most importantly, he entrusted me with recording his glorious story for future generations. In his crusade, Lord Tresbot performed many brave feats, but even he could not stand against the world wound alone. In his final battle with the demons, when my lord realized he was doomed, his final act was to cover my retreat, so that I could tell the world of his great deeds. Some people have said what he did was not heroic, just an arrogant moron puffing himself up one last time, but I say curse their tongues. My difficult journey ended in Mendev, where I found my freedom. There I published Lord Tresbot's biography and, I don't want to boast but, who am I kidding? Of course I do. The book sold in great numbers, and made me rather famous for a time. That's what brought me to the Queen's attention. She invited me to her court. After all, she was curious about my deceased lord, and she was in great need of an expert on the history of the world wound. I hope you'll find me useful as well. Haha. Why not? As soon as we finish off the demons, I'll get right to it. Just take care that you don't end up like Lord Tresbot.
She makes a wry face.
When I was a slave in Istur, they would beat me with a stick to force me into believing in Asmodeus. They hit me and said it was for my own good. Ever since then I don't like temples. I realize there are different gods, like Desna or Caden, who teach goodness and freedom. But it's just, as soon as I smell frankincense, I see the slave driver's stick. Maybe one day I'll be able to turn to a deity without cringing from a blow for not being reverent enough. But for now I let others pray for me.
Nura's smile trembles and collapses. Nura sounds sincere, but you feel that she's holding something back.
Yes, indeed, I've been told of your affliction.
Nura peers at the center of your chest.
Can you will the wound to open? No? That's a shame. Well, it's difficult to say. I know of blades that leave never healing cuts, of poisons that stop wounds from healing, I've heard of witches' curses that are rewarded with eternal wounds, but wounds that seem to reopen and heal over and over, HMM. Let's think. In 4671, a Mendavian army corporal had all his bones and cartilage turned to glass. In 4700 a scribe in Kenabers had all her skin simply come away like she'd been boiled. And in 4638, oh. You don't happen to have insects crawling over you? Locusts? No? Rats, perhaps? Too bad.
Nero looks at you with genuine regret.
It most likely is dangerous, but you are under the protection of Iomede, Commander. She granted you mythic power, as they say. Surely the Inheritor would not leave you to face this alone? Have you, perhaps, noticed that the wound opens at moments when you waver in your faith? Perhaps it is triggered by doubt?
Frowning, Nero looks at you with sincere concern.
I'm sorry I couldn't tell you anything useful. I will be sure to study this matter and consult a few of my encyclopedias. If you have any questions, come back.
Though you are a complicated person, Darren, I do respect you for your healing talent. Anyone who eases another's suffering cannot be entirely hopeless.
You may want to recall the circumstances in which I received my healer's gift. Here's a hint. It wasn't of my own choosing. I would have rather avoided that episode in my life.
The traitors who defected to the enemy's side at Kenabers are dead. Nerosian expresses its deepest gratitude to the commander.
Make way!
Excruciating.
Make every strike count.
you the fray! I'll just sit here. Don't worry about me.
Did you see that?
Ask nicely.
Don't know? Don't care.
I hope this letter finds you in good health, Sir Willem. I see now, with great sadness, that you have quite forgotten and abandoned us. It's been 3 years since you visited your native lands, and your father at your family crypt. Last summer some passers-by broke the lock on it and spent the night inside. As steward, I installed a new lock and cleaned up all the wreckage. Your servant who went missing, whom you inquired after in your previous letter, has indeed been seen, but at present his precise whereabouts are unknown. He came to us, looked at us with contempt, said something through his teeth, gathered taxes for you, ate a whole goose for free at the tavern, jumped on his horse, and galloped off. If he went missing somewhere on the road, we wouldn't know anything about it. It's been a complete disaster here, even without missing strangers to account for. 7 days ago, all cows gave black milk. And the milkman, who tasted it out of drunken stupidity, died in the pain of twisted bowels. There is something wrong with the spring. The water stinks of rotten eggs, and the cattle won't drink it. Besides, some scoundrel threw some dead dogs into the closest well, the one on the crossroads, so we've filled it with soil. I expect the demons are giving us trouble any way they can. Our cattle are dying of thirst. Children are going missing in your protected forest. The woodcutters saw some scarecrows which they swore were alive. They spoke of angry faces and bared teeth. They were afraid to get too close, and watched them from afar. Frightening things are going on in the woods. I fear that witches and demons have settled in your protected forest, to do their wicked mischief. They are probably the ones who picked the bones of your servant who's gone missing. And you ask us, as if you suspect us of being involved. As if we could kill and rob an honest man. It's upsetting, Sir Willem. We never touched your servant, and if we did, he was a wretched man, smug and nasty. And we have no food or water, and our children are going missing. Instead of serving your Lady Gaffery, you should be home defending us, and bringing us food. You must have some gold, Lord that you are. There is no one to protect us besides you. The city lads only come to find new recruits and take our gold. They don't have the authority to do anything more. And the send-off we give our lads and lasses they take, the whole village comes to say farewell, just like it's a funeral. None of them have returned home to the village yet. We are dying.
A bright future
So I'll tell
awaits
you
us.
the honest truth, Sir Willem, we cannot live like that anymore, but we cannot die in such terrible conditions either. So we agreed with our neighbors to burn down your forest on the next new moon, your protected forest where the dark beasts live. We'll surround it, set it on fire from all sides, and hire a wizard to steer the wind. We won't be put off just because the forest is protected, or because no one may shoot game there or enter therein, or cut down its trees. Of course you'll be very angry at us for burning down your family forest. Because we've already been cutting its wood and shooting game there, for there is nothing else to eat and no other wood. We won't let the forest beasts steal our children. If you wish, come and execute me, execute all of us, but we won't put up with this anymore. That's that. Respectfully, the steward of Vixola village. To Lord Sir Willem. After pacifying the elementals, the soldiers found the remains of a cultist sorcerer in the middle of a broken summoning circle. Despite his apparently outstanding magical power, he was unable to control the raging spirits he had brought into existence. His stiff fingers were still clenching the horrendous flail he used as a weapon.
Ouch! I broke a nail! It must be nice to be a knight like you. You can clip your nails short and not wear any makeup. And no one says a thing.
So what would happen if you didn't wear any makeup? Would the demons refuse to die because you're not looking the part?
How much longer, I wonder?
Don't mind me.
Unimosi travisi. Unimosi travisi. Unimosi travisi.
Riti!
Tashani Savita.
Travisi. Unimosi 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 travisi.
Aparane Sentes. Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi.
You require my unbiased opinion? I agree. What's on your mind? I wonder.
My tail is restless.
Madrid. Tunis.
cut you wide open!
Cover me, all right?
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.